सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमामस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। नारायणं पद्मभौमशिष्टं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तन्तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यानस्मद्गुरुं सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि। साक्षात् सच्चिदानन्दं प्रत्यगद्वयमक्रियं तन्नमामि गुरुस्य योगिगम्यं परं पदं खानिलाग्निर्धरित्रं तं स्रक्फणियो यथा ध्वान्तच्छिदे नमस्तस्मै साक्षी। Yeah. So 59th verse. 58th was period. So 58th verse said, Esha sarvadhyam nrittam aviluptaika darshanaha vikshate vikshamaanopi nimishat tad dhruva dhruvam. So this dhruva atma tattva, which is avilupta ekadarshana, avikshamana api, even while not being a subject, still it is called a subject in the presence of the object. So what are those objects? So sarvadhi ityadi was mentioned there, vrittam, and which is nimishat, which is momentary. Now further here, the introduction to 59th verse said, Shanka Purvakam Uttara Shlokam Avatarati. What was the Shanka there? I am not really having any Shraddha in any Darshana. Why? Says the Madhyastha, because every Paksha is countered by the other Paksha using Tarka. And all Tarka seems valid. So where should I put my Shraddha in? So this the Siddhanti said. So Nanu Sarva Siddhantanapi Swaswa Drushti Apekshaya Upapannatvat Itara Drushti Apekshaya. Mutually they are contradictory to each other. They refute each other. Therefore, Dusthita Siddhikatvat Na Ekatrapi Vishwasam Pashyama. Don't see that how I can have faith, trust in any darshana. And there is nothing like, there is no single Paksha which is agreeable to all Darshanikas. Through all tarka. So sarvatarkike adushitam samartitam, not finding faults in any darshana and agreeing with a particular darshana, that is never seen. Logicians never let any darshana go. They keep on finding flaws in each and every darshana. And therefore, he says, sarvatarkika upadrava apasarpanaya vartma sambhavayamanacha. So I don't see any darshana which is flawless. You have to understand darshana need not be flawless. Prakriyas are with flaws because there is only one single vastu and you are in duality trying to understand that Advaita Tattva. So every prakriya will have its own flaws. There is no flawless prakriya. Because any example that is used, somebody can find flaw in the example also, saying that, seeing what is not the ansha in the udharana, one can focus on the other ansha and say, this is not working. One can just say, what is in the example, I don't see that in the exemplified, there are many differences and all that. That is what an example is. So to find a flaw, anything can be shown as a flaw, can be justified. That this is why my logic is right. So you'll say twa, you'll add a dharma and say twat. So it is going to come up twat. Panchami hetu you give, because of this reason it is not valid. Someone else will say because of this reason it is valid, and then Tarkika will counter saying no, because of this reason. So you have seen Panchami hetus, many hetus are given. So to establish hetus are given, to counter also hetus are given. The debate is endless. So this the Siddhanti said, Uchyate Visrabdai Sambhavyatam. Confidently you take the Vedanta Paksha because it has Shruti as basis. That is the idea. Further, in the 59th verse introduction, not introduction, the verse itself, because the Tika, we have to go back to the Tika though. So, Imam Prashnikam Uddishya. Yeah. So, Tika has something else also. So, the introduction said that, which led to the Sambandhokti, and then Sambandhokti from the Tika, it has come to the verse proper. So, the verse says, Imam Prashnikam Uddishya Tarkajvara Bhrushaturaha Twachiraskavacho Jhalaihi Mohayanti Tareteram. What was the Sangati to this in the Sambandhokti? So, yeah, so Sambandhokti last line was missed. So, it said, Anubhava Matra Sharanatvat Sarvatarkika Prasthananam. Take the Vedanta Paksha confidently without any doubts. With where should you put your Shraddha? So, sorry, Siddhanti says, put your Shraddha in the Vedanta Darshana. What we have talked all the flaws in the Purva Paksha and defending the Siddhanta and establishing Siddhanta, what we have done, has Shruti as Mula. And it is not only that Shruti says so. Shruti uses Anubhava to show how it can be. Impossibilities are removed by showing possibility, and possibility is like what? Swapnavata. How can I be Ananda Swarupa? How can I be Advitiya? Just like in Shushupti you are. So Swapna, Shushupti, all these Anubhavas are used. And Vidvat Anubhava is backing. So he says that you use these Swapna and Shushupti Anubhava to understand the Shruti. When it opens up to you, you have Nishtha in that, then you will have your own Sakshatkara, which is Anubhava. Every other Pramana, including the Tarkikas Pramana, works on Pratyaksha. Your Anubhava, when it is Pratyaksha, the Tarka cannot counter that Anubhava at all. No one can counter it. No Pramana can counter it, because every other Pramana will become Apramana when you have such Anubhava. Sakshatkara. Sakshatkara tirtha. Aparoksha jnana. So therefore, Sarva Tarkika Prasthananam, all these Tarkika Prasthanas, how many ever Granthas they bring, every Darshanika brings, based in logic, all of that logic itself is based in Anubhava. So Anubhava Matra, nothing else. Anubhava, that Pratyaksha Matra, is Sharana, is the final resort for even Tarkikas and their Tarkik Prasthanas also. All of the Darshanas are based in, finally it has to culminate in the Anubhava. So Anubhava is primary there, Sakshatkara. Anubhava is not Pramana. But Anubhava is that on which all Pramanas work. If you say Anubhava is Pratyaksha Jnana, Prama, then yes, Anubhava is Pramana. Not Pramana, it is Prama, not Pramana again. Anubhava is not Pramana, Anubhava is Prama, Pramana Janya. But Pratyaksha, when you have Sakshatkara is Pratyaksha, then it is Anubhuti Swarupa itself, Atma, based on which every other Tarka works, not other Tarka, every Tarka works on that. Pratyaksha, and this most superior Pratyaksha is what? Aparoksha Jnana Aham. That is Swatas Siddha. We have seen this. Now, Tadabhidiyate, and thereby the verse where Imam Padachida, Imam Rashnikam Uddishya Tarkajvara Bhrushaturaha, single word. Twat Shiraska Vacho Jalaihi, single word. Mohayanti, Nijanta Prayoga. Iteretaram. Iteretaram, mutually. Mutually, these Tarkajvara Bhrushaturaha, those who are what they, Jara is what is some kind of fever, so literally fever, afflicted with the fever of Tarka, meaning Tarka ka bhoot chada hai, the way in Hindi they'll say. For everything you use logic, so they say Jara is, so Brusha, intensely in that itself. Atura Chatura also, he very eager and committed to show Tarka. Being afflicted by that Tarka itself is Jara, or Tvarka Rupa Jara, you can say. Tvarka Rupa Jara, and Bhrisham also. Bhrisham Aturaha. So Karmadharya there. So he says, Thereby they go to the mohayanti. They delude. They cause delusion. Mutually, every darshanika who is using only tarka, okay, here tarka means what? Only tarka. Using only logic, they confuse each other. How? With what? What are their tools? So here he says, imam prashnikam uddishya. Prashnikam prashna sambandhi. So it can be the prashnika atma also. Whatever is the vishaya for discussion, you can take that. Or, here, Hindi, what has he used for prashnikam here? Prashnikam is second case, okay? Prashnikam moyanti. One who is asking or, trying to establish something, they confuse. Itaretaram prashnikam. So you can say, prashnikam can also be, the person who is debating or who is trying to establish something, questioning whoever. So these who are experts in tarka, we can say that they confuse each other, itaretaram, and who is the each other? They are the ones who are questioning with what? With what tools? So this very prashnika, they confuse. Here prashnika can be, here it is madhyastha or sakshi. So he is also taken both, madhyastha or sakshi. So here we'll say prashnikam is the subject matter also, but here prashna, prashna vishayakam ityartha. Prashna kim vishayakam prashna, so prashnikam prashna. So that can also be the case in the case of atma. But here prashnikam vishayam or vishaya or itaretram also, those who are dealing with that particular matter, atma subject matter. But otherwise, second case, the anvaya is not very well done otherwise. So we can take multiple meanings. Currently, simple meaning is what? Looking at the questioner or the one who is debating the Atma Tattva, each of them are debating the same Tattva. They confuse each other using what? Tarka, because they are experts in Tarka. They are afflicted with that expert. So you say, disease of perfection, the way you say, when you say, oh, you have a disease of perfection, you'll never give up, you'll never end. These Tarkikas are like that. They are not perfect really, but they keep on questioning, no, this should not be right. This should not be there. That should. So if start fault finding, it is easy to find faults. It is very difficult to establish something, but to find faults is easy. You just question something, insult and go away. That's it. Nothing else to do. That person will, spend an entire day. You're not looking at the struggle, but you just ask, had it been this way, it would have been better. So indirectly also you would say the person is upset now. So this is the case of each and every darshanika. They are trying to improve their darshana based on the other's question. And what are the tools they are using, through what they are trying to refute each other or confuse each other. Mohayanti, whether it is intentional or unintentional, both meanings. Mohayanti, they delude each other, whether intentionally or unintentionally. This because tarka jwara, it is hetugarva visheshana. Vrishathura. So here using what? Jalaihi. Jala is basically a nest. It can be group also. With what? Tvat shiraska vacho jalai. The jala of words. Mohajala also shabda jala. So vacho jala means what? Shabda jala. You have heard the word shabda jala. Shabda rashi, shabda jala. So, the words trap you. What are these? What is the form of the Tarkika's trap of words is what? Tvat shiraska. Hetu. Hetu is sitting at the top of that. Meaning, in all the words, you look at the Panchami. You look at the Panchami, which will have the what? Tvat. For example, Dhuma vat Tvat. Tvat is sitting there. Tvat has been used. Tvat is what? Tva pratyaya with Panchami. That is Tvat. Tvat is not a word. Tvat independently is not a word. Tvat iti. Tvat iti, with meaning what? Dhuma or what? Pratyakshatvat. Whatever, there are many hetus. So here, in every Panchami that with the dharma, Twa is read there, and Tvat, they'll keep on saying Tvat. And Tvat is the Shiras. Shiras means the head. In every vakya, tarka vakya, so whatever they say, yatra yatra dhuma, tatra tatra vanni. Okay, he may make that statement, but what are you looking at in the tarka? Why? He'll say dhuma vatvat. The primary part of the statement is that hetu there. That is the tarka. Hetu is the tarka really. So the structure is so that there are panchavaya vakya, whatever, parts of the sentences may be there. Vyapti may be there, but still that hetu should be there. Tvat. Yatra yatra dhuma tatra tatra vanni is sufficient because hetu is already there. Yatra yatra dhuma tatra tatra vanni, that dhuma yatra yatra with what is said, that is a hetu. But dhuma cannot be the structure of the hetu. The structure of the hetu is dhuma vatvat. That dhuma cannot be anywhere else. Parvate. Parvato vanniman. So that statement is also made. Parvato vanniman. Parvata, the mountain has fire. Why? Because there is smoke. Not because there is smoke, because the mountain has smoke. That is the statement. Because there is a smoke where? Smoke has to be connected to the mountain where you are seeing. So therefore, dhuma vatvat parvatasya. Parvata is dhumavan. That's what the idea. Dhumavan, and therefore has to be vanniman. Same parvata. There should be anavachinna rekha dhuma. Dhuma cannot be, the smoke cannot be elsewhere. It cannot be flying on the top of, moving on the top of the mountain. It should be connected to the base of the mountain. The smoke should be coming from the mountain itself. It cannot be, smoke is, fire is elsewhere and the smoke it has been blown by the wind on the top of this mountain, and then you get confused that this mountain has fire. That is not the case. You should see the rekha, the line of smoke coming from the mountain, not from elsewhere. It cannot be disconnected smoke. Mountain and, very close by, but disconnected. You cannot have disconnected smoke. That is not the hetu. So, dhuma vatvat, that tvat is used everywhere. Tvat shiraska, bhauri. Tvat iti shiraha yasya. Yasya, or here we'll say yesham. Yesham vachojalanam. Or yesham, you can say vachanam, and then make the jala as a separate samasa. Then tvat shiraska vak, and then vachaha. So, tvat shiraska vachaha, that is the bhauri with karmadhara again. Then vak shiraska vachaha jalaha. Vachanam, what will be the vacha? Vacha sashti would be what? Vachanam, not vachanam. Vacham. Little confused there. So, vach, because vak is set in the mind. Vach is it is not vak, vach. So, shashti will be vacham. So, vacham jalaha, and taihi, bahuvachana has been used. So, you can say either vachojali also. There you can make karmadhari also. So, vacha eva jalaha, jalaha, and taihi. Basically, what is the idea? The trap of words. Jala is a trap. Through the trap of words, trap in the form of words, where the twat, etc. Twat kind of a swarupa is the shira, head, meaning primary in that. With the words where twat, that hetu is primary, using hetu, using some kind of a cause, showing some kind of cause-effect relation, saying that if this is there, this should be there, and because this is there, your prashnika paksha is wrong. This is what they'll keep on doing. So, imam prashnikam uddishya, pointing out to this person who is established something, and then prashnikam give them hetu. Or, he is questioning and you think, no, it should be right because of this reason. So, thereby what? Itaretam mohanti. It can even be questioner. Simplest way is to take some questioner. Some questioner is saying that, and then he'll give a hetu. Oh, this is the reason. If you ask, if the Siddhanti asks, how will it work? How can Parmanu be Jagat Karana? So he'll give some hetu. Parmanu, we may say because we'll say Karyanam, what Anukarana anu karanatvat, we can say, or anu, not karanatvat, anu karanakatvat. Every karya is having anu karana, therefore. So you can say anu karanakatvat karyanam. So anu karanakatvat, tvat sitting there, that is the jala, shabda jala, which will be causing moha in the prashnika. So this is how you can take either way, whether prashnika or somebody who is trying to give an uttara. Basically, darshanika, they both are questioners for each other. And the answer is with a tvat. Question is also, with a question. If it's a plain question, then there is no hetu there. Now, how can it be so? It can't be so. Even you say it can't be so, if your akshepa is for it can't be so because of this hetu, you have to say. Otherwise, what? If it is plain question, then you are a questioner and the establishment is with some tarka. Baseless, really baseless, because to that also there can be a question or another hetu which will counter. So this is an endless iterator mohanti. This is the 59th verse. Further what? So Anvaya is what? Imam prashnikam uddishya tarkajara bhrushaturaha. Same thing as it is. So no Anvaya needed there. Just iterator mohanti. You can switch this. Imam prashnikam uddishya tarkajara bhrushaturaha त्वाच्छिरस्क वचोजालैः इतरेतरम मोहन्ति. So prashnikam can be separate, taken separately also, and iterator is mutual. Therefore, prashnikam will go there finally, but you can separate it out in anvaya, as in pointing out to this or taking this prashnikam into account. Prashnikam can also be atma again. Prashnikam can be sakshi, as here you can take it as sakshi also. So, considering this atma vishaya's topic, right? So you can take prashnika as not the questioner. Prashna sambandhi, it should be prashna sambandhi. Prashna is regarding, prashna has some vishaya. What is that? Atma. So you can say the prashnikam means what? Sakshinam. So we'll see in the tika if there is more meaning. I'm talking about possibilities here. So you can take atma here. So in the vishaya of atma vishayaka prashnikam, uddishya, taking that as a subject matter. What do Tarka Jwara Brushatura do? They use Twachiraska Vachajala, Vachojalehi, and Taihi, Itaretara Mohanti. That is the Anvaya. Oh, yeah, actually, I have to go back to the Tika, right? So, Prashnikam, in fact, that's why I went to the Mula, but we had a few days of break. So, here, yeah. So, Shanka Purakam Uttara Shlokam Avatareti Nanu Sarveti. And then Tatra Eva Hetu Nacha iti. What is Nacha? There nacha sarvatarkiki adushitam samartitam sarvatarkika upadrava apasarpanaya vartma sambhavama. I don't see any path which is agreeable to all tarkikas, and they are not where the faults are not pointed out. Such paksha I don't see. That itself is the hetu for losing trust. Na ekatra vishwasam pashyam. For that there is a hetu sentence. Na chaiti. So second sentence is hetu for the first sentence of the Purva Pakshi. Madhyastha, basically Madhyastha. What is Prashnikam? So here, Prashnikam is Guna Dosha Sakshinam Madhyastam iti avata. Here is taken the meaning as Madhyastam. Guna Dosha Sakshinam Madhyastam. So it can be the Madhyastam also. Madhyastam means in a debate. So here, so you can say, when there is a debate going on, you take an example of, let's say, a good example would be a court of law. So two lawyers are arguing. They don't argue with each other directly. They have to talk to the judge. You cannot talk to each other directly, right? So you are talking to the judge. The Vishaya may be the, whoever is in the witness box or whatever, and then the arguments are going on, but all the argument, although the argument is about the other lawyer's paksha, so Chaitara lawyer is talking and trying to refute the paksha of the Maitra lawyer and vice versa, still they are addressing the judge. So judge is the Madhyastha. So you can say Prashnikam, here he is taken as all possibilities are there. Atma meaning is possible. Sakshi, here Sakshi is not Sakshi Chaitanya. Here Sakshi is taken Guna Dosha Sakshinam, who is looking at flaws in each other. Judge may not do that. Judge may not say that, oh, this is wrong, that is wrong. Only if the other lawyer says, objection, whatever, then only the judge may agree, sustained or, or whatever they have, whatever we see in, these movies and all that. But here in Tarka also, the Madhyastha will be there, who is weighing out, who is a Sakshi in the sense of the debate there. But then in the debate, he will take the Nirnaya, whether this is right or that, not. So the other Tarkiya can give Hetu, but this they will confuse the Madhyastha himself. He said, this is also right, that is also right. So this Madhyastha is the one who is saying that Nekatrapi Vishwasam Pashyama. So Madhyastha is basically what? Who is Vedanti, who is trying to understand this Vedanta, but Tarkika is making so many akshepas in our context. In a general context, Madhyastha is what? The one who is listening to the debate. It can also be not the judge, but one who is getting influenced by these two. So that can also be the Madhyastha, which is the current case here. So Guna Dosa Sakshinam Madhyasthamiti. So he is looking at it. Oh, this fellow is showing Guna in this. Oh, this appears right. Then the other fellow shows a flaw. So he says, now I'm confused. What appeared to be right is no longer right. Then he says, okay, his Paksha is right. So he's looking at the other Paksha. And then the first fellow makes Akshepa there. So he is confused. So he can say Prashnikam. Therefore, this Prashnikam finally will go in with what? Itaram Mohayanti. They cause delusion in each other, but this Madhyastha is getting confused. He is the See, first Darshanika, Chaitra, has concluded this Darshana is right. The other Darshanika has also concluded he is right. When they are debating, the middleman is getting confused. That's the case, right? When you look at Shastra or any debate going on, so I am the one who is a witness to all this. I am getting confused. When you take any Darshana and try to study, or you go and listen to the Patha also, though there are people who study Shad Darshanas, or at least, Tarka, Purvamimamsa, some study. Then Sankhya Yoga, right? Nyaya Vaishika are put together. So generally what's in Sampradaya, orthodoxy, all six darshanas are studied. Vedanta is taught, but Vedanta is usually, the depth of Vedanta is taught only later as an Uttara Paksha. So all the Purva Paksha is studied. In case of other Tarkikas also, Tarkikas will take Vedanta also as Purva Paksha. Therefore, when they are studying all the other darshanas, every other darshana is shown to be flawed. So the student, you can take this Prashnikam, the student who wants benefit is confused. Therefore, Uchyate Visrabdaihi Sambhavatam. Many meanings are possible. We'll go with this meaning. As in, the listener is confused. Prashnikam will say listener is confused. Prashnikam words can have many meanings, but here we'll go with the Madhyastha meaning, the one who is a listener. Madhyastham is a listener, and therefore he is told. He is not the judge. He is not the judge who will decide who won. He is the Madhyastha who is listening to both and wants to conclude somewhere. Oh, this is what I should do. So he is confused. Therefore, he has lost all Shraddha. He says that I was better off earlier. Some people will say I was better off earlier. Now I am more confused. So here is Siddhanti says Visrabdai Sambhavyatam. Tikakara says Prashnikam Gunadosha Sakshinam Madhyastamiti Yavat Anubhavi Tari Atmaswarupe Dharmi Matre na Kasyapi Vadina Vivada Ityartha. Now this Madhyastha, we have taken this Sakshinam. Now look at the beauty in the Tika. There is a hint there, okay? Why it has so many meanings and meanings can be put together. This Sakshi, first Sakshi will be what? Madhyastha. Sakshi who is Madhyastha can be the judge, right? Then we move to the meaning as what? The listener. He is not the judge, he is the listener. They are confusing each other and the listener is getting confused. Who wants to derive benefit? Now this listener is a Sakshi, all right? He is not a participant in the debate. Therefore, he is a Sakshi of the debate. But Sakshi Mukhya meaning is Atma. So you see the next sentence very nicely. Sakshi is Anubhavi. One who has Anubhava will be called as Anubhavi. So, or Anubhavitru. So, Anubhavitari, Trijanta, one who has this Anubhavitari. Who is this Anubhavitru? Anubhavitra meaning Anubhavita. Who is Anubhavita? Anubhavita is Atma Swarupa, really. Right? Anubhava Swarupa itself is Atma. So Anubhavita is Atma. So Atma Swarupe, who is Dharmi Matra, has no Dharma. Dharmi Matra means what? Really no Dharma. In the presence of Dharma, he will be called as Dharmi. Or we can say Dharmi Matra means what? Has no gunas, but has Dharma, meaning Satchidananda Dharma. So this Anubhavitari Atma Swarupe Dharmi Matre na kasyapi vadina vivadartah. With respect to this Anubhavita Atma, there can be no vivada really. Prashnika is being targeted. Both darshanas are advertising their darshanas, so to say. No, you follow this, you follow this. Now, this person who is a Sakshi, Madhyastha to the debate, is not really the judge because he does not know enough. He is not that kind of a judge, but he is judging the darshana to follow for his benefit. That is the Madhyastha. And this Madhyastha Sakshi of the debate is also really the Sakshi of everything, including the Antakarana, his own Antakarana, Ahankara, including his own question, Prashna also, as to which darshana should I follow. I am losing my faith. Nothing seems to be worthy of my trust. He is a Sakshi of that thought also. That Anubhavitari, he is the Vishaya really. Atma Vishaya is really his Vishaya. He is the target Vishaya also. He is the target to reach the Vishaya through this Darshana also. So this Madhyastha is Sakshi of the debate, who is also real Sakshi. And with respect to him, there is a discussion going on. And this Anubhavita Atmaswarupa Dharmimatra with respect to Vishaye, Dharmimatra Vishaye, Kasyapi Vadina Vivada Na Ityartha. How so? Because this is what is mentioned here as to Anubhava Matra Sharanatva. Meaning, if a Shunyavadi says Atma is not there, your Atma in Swarupa you are there. Madhyastha who is listening in Swarupa is Atma. So if let's say the Shunyavadi is telling the Vedanti, there is nothing called as Atma. This listener Atma is sitting there, Anubhavita, laughing inside as though, he is refuting. I am sitting there not only here as Atma if you can, personify that Atma, Paramatma, he is laughing there. The person who is uttering these words saying that Atma is not there, that Atma itself is a witness to that also. Cannot be refuted. Laughable. So, up to that, you can take the meaning up to that Atma which is a Sakshi, Tasmin Vishaye, Nirakaranmeva na sambhavati. Samshaya bhi na sambhavati. Really, saying that is it there or not there, that Samshaya should not come. Is there an Atma like that? Meaning Satta is there or not? One who says there is a Prapancha, I am there, everything is there, but I don't think Atma is there. Charvaka. Prapancha is taken saying that Prapancha is there means Atma is there. This is misunderstood by many. When you say Prapancha is there, Asti, means what? Satta is there. That Satta is Atma. You cannot say Prapancha is there and Atma is not there. It is an oxymoron. Because Atma is Sat. When you say Ghata Asti, Aham Asmi, in both of these, Ghatapatadi Prapancha Asti, Tvamasi, Aham Asmi, in any Purusha, any Vachana, when Satta is there, Asti, Astita is being mentioned, that Astita, Asmita is all what? Atma. Because Atma is Satsarupa. Anything has Satta means Atma is there. This, I am a conscious entity or somebody else is conscious. No, I see this is a living being. When you say this is a living being, but I don't agree there is an Atma. Oh, this cow is there, that dog is there, the horse is there, the Manushya is there, others are there. When you say they are sentient things are there, the plants are there, birds are there is one part Satta, but meaning they are there, meaning they are living beings. When you say, oh, it's a living entity, how can you hurt a plant? It's a living entity. How can you hurt an animal? It's a living entity. So that living entity, when you say Chaitanya, but Atma is not there, is contradictory. Because as soon as you say it's a living entity, means Chetana is there, Chetana is Atma. Then you cannot say Atma is not there. It is a contradictory statement. Oh, this, how can how can you even talk about Atma? Look at this beautiful prapancha, gives so much of Ananda. So when you say that and then you say Atma is not there, contradictory statement. Why? Because prapancha, when you say Ananda is there, Vishaya Ananda is there, that Ananda is Atma Swarupa. So anywhere you say Satta is there, Atma is there. Chaitanya is there, Atma is there. Ananda is there, Atma is there. You cannot say Atma is not there. Therefore, all this tarka will not work when the witness is sitting there with the, if he understands his Atma Swarupa, it is laughable that there can be a debate regarding it, this matter. Inquiry is possible when you say, but the debate should not be really possible. There can be no darshanas really. Factually, there should be no darshanas from the perspective of the Atma, because there can be no doubt with respect to the Atma, because it is Swatas Siddha. So where is the doubt now? How can you say the darshana should not be there? There should be no darshana establishing Atma really. So the Vedanta also what? It's Neti Neti Prakriya. Again, we come back to the same thing. To say that this Atma is connected with something else, that something else does not exist. Therefore, Sambandha is not possible. So all Prakriyas exhaust themselves in Anvaya Mukha or Vyatireka Mukha, just to show that you cannot be anything else. What you are, you are. You cannot be anything else that you have taken for granted. So, Anubhava Matra Sharanatva Sarvatarkika Prasthananam. And here in the verse, what? In the verse, they confuse Mohanti, Itaretara Mohanti, and the Tika says what? Finally, what is the meaning? Tika says, Anubhavit Tari Atmaswarupe. Dharmi matre, Saptami, all Saptami. Anubhavitari is Saptami, Atma Swarupe, Saptami, Dharmi matre. Satchidananda Dharmi matre, we can say. Satchidananda Dharma is there in this. That kind of a, in there means, so it is very Swarupa. Therefore, Atma Swarupe, Kasyapi Vadina Vivadaha Nasti, Na Sambhavati Ityartha. Therefore, you accept this Shruti Vakya. Why? Because Shruti is showing your Anubhava. It is revealing your Anubhava to you as to that Anubhava is right. You hold on to that. Do not go with the other Bhranti there. Stay with the Yathartha Anubhava, not with the Ayathartha Anubhava. Anubhava is there of the Prapancha also, as a Samsari also. But Shruti shows you which is the right Anubhava, which is not the right Anubhava by Anvaya Vyatireka, by showing Satta, which has Bada, which does not have Bada, with what? With the continuance, what continues, what doesn't continue. And thereby, in Sushupti also, I am there, Satchidananda Atma, and in Swapna also, Prapancha is there. Therefore, Jagrat, Prapancha need not be Satya, but Aham, and with the Satta, Spurti, and Ananda Rupa is through and through. Therefore, that Anubhava is right. Every other Anubhava, every other Pramana, every other Tarka is based on this. Every other means every other Pramana, not every other Tarka, but Tarka is also every other Pramana, part of every other Pramana. So everything else has basis on your Anubhava, which is consistent, not inconsistent Anubhava, like Rajju Sarpa, but consistent Anubhava, not like Jagrat. Jagrat comes and goes. In Swapna it is not there, Sushupti it is not there. In Swapna, you have Swapna Prapancha, which is not there in Jagrat and Sushupti. In Sushupti, what you have, that is Ananda without any Vishaya. Therefore, Vishayas are Mithya. Na iti, Ahankaradi Prapancha Nasti, Ahameva Asmi, and therefore, Asmin Mai Anubhavitaryaatmaswarupe Dharmi Matre Kasyapi Vadina Vivadaha Nasti Na Sambhavati. This is should be the final conviction. So it is leading to that with the 59th verse. So Madhyastha can be Sakshi in the debate also, can be Sakshi as a listener interested in Darshana, and finally the Sakshi Atma also. So we have finally taken it to multiple meanings. As to Prashnikam can lead to all sorts of meanings. There is a lot to the verse. Whatever feels good at your stage of understanding, hold on to that and slowly inquire into it. This is the entire grantha, because this Prashnikam is finally what? Tvam Padartha only really. Prashnikam in the case of the debater or the madhyastha judge or the madhyastha listener, or we here who are raising doubts also, and finally in Sakshi meaning also it is Tvam Padartha only. Prashnikam is really Tvam Padartha here. As Jiva also, as a participant in the debate, as a Sakshi of the debate, as a judge of the debate, as a Mumukshu, and finally Sakshi Atma. So this the 60th verse continuation is Anubhavitritve api vivadam ashankate. He says, okay, you have made a statement that there can be no doubts regarding the Anubhavita. If you say I am experiencing, do you have a doubt? Yes, there is a doubt. When you say I am seeing Sarpa, that is a Sarpa Anubhava, somebody can cause a doubt. If there is a contradictory pramana, someone says, no, there is a Rajju or Bhuchitra or Jaladhara, whatever, there can be a doubt. So Siddhanti is questioned, Anubhavitritve api, even if you are the experiencer of, when experience means your satta, spurti, ityadi is pratyaksha. Sata siddha. Siddhanti says, therefore there can be no doubt. Purvapakshi says, no, even if you are experiencing it, there can be doubt. Experiencing, okay, experiencing. Because when you experience something like Rajju Sarpa, it's an object experience. With respect to the object, you cannot doubt. So therefore he says, Atrapi chodayanti, atrapi thi shankate, vivadam ashankate. So there can be a debate with doubts, and there can be a discussion or a debate. Atrapi chodayanti, sambandhoktikara se atrapi chodayanti. They, with respect to Atma, who is anubhavitru, anubhavita, with respect to that also they raise questions. They don't stop there just because you have said, oh, there should be no question. Yeah, but I have questions. How can you say there should be no questions? I am also experiencing what you're saying. I also have some experiences. I have a question. How can you say your experience is right? I have also some contrary experience, I can say. Or I have this Atma is Anubhava Swarupa. You say, no, I have a question there. In Sushupti, I don't have that Anubhava. One may argue, I don't have Anubhava there. Therefore, Siddhanti has to show, no, you had Ananda, right? You had Anubhava of not knowing anything, right? This is all Anubhava only. So it has to be pointed out if it is not inquired. So here, Atrapi Chodayanti, they raise questions. What Anubhava Atmanah api Vikriya Abhyupagame, Anabhyupagame api dosha eva. So what will they say? Atrapi Chodayanti who? Tarkika. This, the, what, Tvarka Jara, Tvarka, what was the word? Tarka Jara Brushaturaha. So this Tvarka Jara Brushaturaha, they say that just because you say there should be no doubt, you can't just, shut me up. He says, I have questions. What questions? Atravi Chodanti, they'll use Tarka there also to show flaws. They'll use Twat there also. They say, Anubhava Atmana api Vikriya Abhyupagame. The question is what? He's asking, you have Anubhava, right? You are saying this Anubhavita Atma, Atma Swarupa, Anubhavita. If you have experience, then now my question is experiencer. That's why I see Anubhava. Generally, it's a loaded word because in English we have the meaning of Anubhava as what? Experience. Experience is usually understood or misunderstood as of the other. So you can insist that it is a subject-object division, right? It is possible to take experience. Experience of Atma means I am the experiencer. Atma is experienced. Then I am not Atma. Therefore, this Anubhava is a tricky word. When especially there is a sanskara of English translation as experiencer. In other languages, Anubhava, Hindi, Marathi, Kannada, ityadi, Anubhava word is used. Sanskrit also the word, Bhagavan Bhashyakara himself uses the word Anubhava also. But people will say, no, it is not Anubhava. Because Tarka study is lacking. Anubhava is what? It is Jnana, Shuddha Jnana. Smriti Bhinnam Jnanam Anubhava. So it is also Jnana. But unlike Smriti, which is also Jnana, this is not Smriti. So any Jnana other than Smriti is called as Anubhava. So whether it is of the other of my presence itself. My presence itself is Anubhava. So here, do you accept, Purvapakshi asks, do you accept that there is Vikriya in the Atma? Vikriya in the Atma means, he says, this Anubhava that you are having, Anubhava, one who is having Anubhava will undergo some change. Vikriya. He is taking Anubhava as a Kriya. So with that Kriya, there will be a Vikriya in the Karta. One who is having Anubhava will undergo some Vikriya, change. If you accept that Abhyupagame dosha, there is a fault. I'll show you, he said there is a flaw. Then the Siddhanti, he may expect, Purvapakshi may expect that the Siddhanti says, no, Atma does not undergo any change. Anabhyupagame, Anubhavatmana Vikriya Anabhyupagame. He has broken the samasa here. When, if not accepted, api devasha eva. So Ubhaya Pasharajju. So the question, Ubhaya Pasharajju means there is a noose on both ends of the rope. Either paksha you choose, I'll say that it is faulty. That is the tarka. Right? Tarka, jvara, brusha, aturaha. So they'll say that, oh, you have said this, now I'll question. Is this Anubhava, you are saying you are Anubhavita, right? Atma is Anubhavita. So Anubhavita undergoes change or does not undergo change? If Siddhanti says undergoes change, then it is flawed. Oh, then it does not undergo change. Then also it is flawed. How? He'll show that. Yasmadaha. Thereby he says what? There is a tika to this. Vikara hetau sati vikaryasya eva vikriya drishyate na avikaryasya tata sati atma vikaryaha avikaryo va. His question is what? Vikara hetau sati. This Anubhava, what you have Anubhava? Anubhava, for that there is a hetu, right? Anubhava of what? So this is his thinking. So that is a vikara hetu. So when there is a vikara hetu sati. If vikara hetu is there, if there is a cause to undergo change, vikaryasya vikriya drishyate. That which will undergo change, there will be vikriya, there will be change. And na vikaryasya, that which does not undergo change will not undergo change. What is vikarya will undergo change. What is not vikarya will not undergo change. Even if there is a vikara hetu. Tathasiti, then now you have to tell me. Now you have to tell me whether Atma is vikarya or avikarya. Tathasati Atma vikaryaha avikaryo va. Will Atma be changeable in the presence of something that can cause change? Or will it be unchangeable in the presence of something that causes change? So if you have something that can cause change, is Atma changeable or unchangeable? So there is a hetu. If it is changeable, then I will take that paksha and ask questions. If it is unchangeable also, I have questions. Not questions, I'll show flaws. This is the Tarkika. Ubhayata api doshe, he says whichever, this is Ubhaya Pasharajju, whichever paksha you take, it is flawed. Ubhayata api doshe iti saugata nam akshepamaha. So who are you, these Tarkikas? All of these are Tarkikas only. Who is that? All Darshanikas are using Tarka. Only difference is that the Purvamimamsaka is using Tarka, using Shruti as Mula, and Vedanti Uttarmimamsaka is also using Tarka, but using Shruti as Mula. Every other is using Tarka, but Tarka does not have basis in Shruti Smriti. They have their Tarka to establish what they have already concluded. And then they say, see, Shruti and Smriti also say so. Very picking some mantras and shlokas out of context and just showing. See, I have Adhara from Shruti Smriti. Siddhanti is not like Siddhanti has used Tatparya Nishchaya, and using that Shruti as the basis, he builds up Tarka to counter those or to establish something. Tarka is not main, it is secondary. But it is used in debates because Shruti cannot be shown in debate directly. Tarka is shown because questions are from Buddhi. And then we say that there is a basis in Shruti. Otherwise not possible. You cannot misinterpret Shruti in any other way. You cannot have Samanvaya. This is the Siddhanti's way. So, Ubhayata api dosha iti, eva iti, these Other Darshanikas, Nastika is also using Tarka. In fact, Nastika has nothing else to use. He has to use only Tarka. So Saugatanam Akshepam Aha. Saugata is what? Bauddha Paksha. So what is that? Varshatapabhyam iti. Thereby the 60th verse. Varshatapabhyam kim vyomnascharmanyeva tayo phalam charmopam charmopamaschet sonityah khatulyaschet asatsamah. This is in quotations, okay? Quotations means what? This is a verse which is found or in a or statement which is made in a verse form, found where? In Bauddha Granthas. So what is their Akshepa? Varsha tapabhyam, single word. Varsha and Atapa. Varsha is rain and Atapa is Surya. Or this is rain and sun. Sun and rain, you can say. Basically opposing characters. Varsha Atapabhyam kim vyomnaha kim vyomnaha charmani eva tayoho phalam charmopam upamaha. Charma upama is single word. Chet saha anityah. Khatulya is single word. Khatulya ched asatsamaha. Asatsama also single word. So what is ubhayata vidosha? They say varsha and atapabhyam. Example. Kim vyomna. Vyoma is akasha. Vyomna charmani iva. Charmani eva tayoho phalam. So he says what? The Varsha and Atapa and Akasha, how are they connected? So he says Charmani. Charmani means you wrap with a skin. We'll come to that with a skin. Tayo phalam. This Varsha and Atapa, they affect the skin, right? Now, like the skin, will they affect the Akasha also? Akasha also. Akasha Vyomna. Vyomna is Akasha. So here, Charma Upamaha Chet. Is it, if the Akasha, so meaning what? There are not, will it affect Akasha? Siddhanti will say no, right? So in the example, Varsha and Atapa, they affect Charmani eva, natu Vyomna. Phala tayoho, Varsha Atapa means phalam. Whom does it affect this phala? Skin. The skin will feel the rain and heat, or cold heat, whatever you take, all that. Will the Akasha feel it? Akasha won't feel it. So now this Akasha and Charma are these two contrasting examples. What is Atma like? Now the question is, what is Atma like? Your Anubhavita Atma, is it like Vyoma, Akasha, or is it like Charma? Will the Varsha Atapa affect the Atma like Charma, like skin, or is it like Vyoma, Akasha, where it will not affect? That is the question. So now, Ubhayatapi dosha, he has already said. So Vikriya, meaning Akasha will not have Vikriya, skin will have Vikriya. That is the idea. How does it connect? Anubhava Atmana Vikriya Abhyupagame, Anabhyupagame. Vikriya Abhyupagame means what? Like Charma. Like Charma, Charmanyeva. If you say Avikriya, Anabhyupagame, Vikriya Anabhyupagame, meaning Avikriya, then like Vyoma. So you always say Akasha, like Akasha, Atma is like Akasha. This is the Vedanti's example. So what the Vedanti will say? No, not like Charma. So Siddhanti is being questioned. Charma upamaha chet saha Atma. If he is Charma upamayasya. Charma is the example that you are using. Oh, it is like skin. Atma is like skin. Then Anitya. Charma is Anitya. Atma will become Anitya. Oh, then you know, Kha Tulya, Vyoma and Kha is the word used for Akasha only. So Kha Tulya, if you say, oh, not Charma Upama, Charma Upamaha Atma, Charma Upama Atma, but Khatulya. Khatulya means Akasha Tulya, Vyoma Tulya. If Atma is like Akasha, then what is the problem? Then the Saugata Matha, in that Bauddha Matha, what? Ched Asat Samaha. They consider Akasha as Asat. What Akasha? They consider everything Asat only, Shunyavadi. So they say Atma is Asat. Atma is Asat. Then you are welcome to our Paksha. You have become, if Atma is like Akasha, then Bauddha says it is Shunyavada. Because Akasha is not there. There is nothing called as Akasha. What Akasha? It is a word. You don't see Akasha. That is his thinking. Akasha, you don't see Akasha. Do you see Akasha? Is the Akasha there? Akasha is a word used to, to make an arrangement in Vyavahara. So Atma also is just another word, Asat Samaha. Ubhayata api dosha. If you accept Vikriya, like Charma, then Anitya Atma. If you say no Vikriya, it is like Akasha, then Atma itself is not there, Asat Sama. So which would you like? Which among the two would you like? This is the Akshepa. So Siddhanti says, what? Not Siddh, further what? Further, Etadeva, in the next verse, Etadeva Vispashtayati. This very idea is elaborated in the 61st verse also. Buddhi Janmani iti. Buddhi Janmani pumsascha vikrutir atha vikrutirevaayam pramateti na yujyate. So buddhi janmani pumsaha vikrutihi yat anityata yadi anityata atha avikrutihi eva ayam pramata iti na yujyate. So what buddhi janmani pumsascha buddhi janmani, meaning what? Kriya pada there. Vikruti. Pumsascha vikruti. So same elaboration. Charma upamasche. What is charma upama? Atma. So pumsa cha vikrutihi. If it is charma tulya, then vikruti. There is vikara. Vikruti is vikara. Pumsascha vikrutihi. Pumsa atmana vikruti bhavati. Yadi. Then what? Anityata. When buddhi janmani sati. When buddhi comes up. What was said earlier? Vikara hetu sati. When there is cause for vikara. What is the cause for vikara? Buddhi janma. When buddhi comes up, when you wake up, then buddhi comes up. So when buddhi janma is there, then that is vikara hetu. If vikara hetu is there, then pumsascha vikrutihi yadi syat, yadi bhavati. When buddhi comes up, there is vikara hetu. Vikaras are in buddhi. Therefore, it is vikara hetu. If the vikara hetu buddhi comes up, has janma, then pumsascha, will you have vikara or not? Vikruti yadi syat, yadi, then anityata. Pumsascha anitya, atma will become anitya. Atha, on the other hand, if you, atha, avikrutihi, if you say, I am pramata iti, na yujyate, that is not right. Shunya, it will be shunya. Na yujyate, he says it is not tenable that there will be no vikruti. I am pramata. There won't be any pramata only. If you say there is no vikara, then you cannot have pramata, meaning shunyavada. Atma will become what? Asat samaha. This is the elaboration in 60th verse. In the same meaning it is there. So etareva ispashtati, nothing else is mentioned. He's just showing vikara hetu is what? Buddhi. When you say there is vikruti, if you say there is vikruti, then puman atma will be what? Anitya. There will be anitya of the pumsa, meaning atmana anityata syat. Buddhi janmani पुंसश्च यदि विकृति स्यात् तदा पुंसश्च अनित्यता स्यात् अतः अविकृति एव if you say then ayam pramata na yujyate ayam pramata na yujyate iti na yujyate pramata, you cannot say pramata. Pramata is one who undergoes vikruti. You cannot say there is no vikruti. If you say there is no vikruti, pramata is not there, meaning asat samaha. This is his akshepa elaboration, 61st verse. Asya parihara, this is a siddhanta now. सिद्धांत प्रतिबंधी न्यायेन आक्षेपं परिहरति. There is a tippana here. What is pratibandhi nyaya? Samana uttaram tulya yuktihi. Pratibandhi. Similar logic. So if you for pratibandhi nyaya, we'll look at the verse proper in the next part, but I'll just mention this. Pratibandhi nyaya. An example given is what? There is a fight between two people as to whom the house belongs to. Okay, Chaitra and Maitra are fighting as to this house belongs to me. The other says this house belongs to me. Chaitra is already staying in the house. So what is the tarka, that nyaya that this fellow gives? The Chaitra and Maitra. So Chaitra is in the house. He's staying in the house. Maitra says, I bought this house 2 years back. I bought this house 2 years back. Therefore, this house is mine. This is in Nyaya, related to the house. What does Maitra say? He says that I am staying in this house for 5 years. Therefore, it is mine. So, very tulya Nyaya. So, that twat is tulya in both. Because I am staying in this house for 5 years, the other fellow says I bought this property for in 2 years. So, it should belong to me. So, with a similar logic, says, but I am already staying here since 5 years. How can you say that you bought this house? I am here in 5. So, with a tulya yukti, that is pratibandhi nyaya. So, what is chodya parihara samyamitiva? Or what chodya? A similar idea is given. So, generally, what is the similarity in the example? If buying makes the house mine, so does staying. Hetus will work, right? Staying also makes the I stay there, therefore the house is mine. Oh, where do you stay? Oh, this is my house. That's how you'll say, this is my house. Similarly, what? Oh, which house did you buy? Oh, this is my house. So the question may be different. The hetu appears different, but it's a similar logic there. Because I bought, that is my house. Because I stay, that is my house. So here, the similarity is there. Tulya yukti. Not exactly same. Tulya yukti. Chodya parihara samyamitiva. Other possibility is what? The question is same. Parihara is also same. Because Tarkika, they say, for example, the question, you say, for example, Sankhya says, in Brahma Sutra, second adhyaya, first pada, Sankhya brings up a question to the Purva Pakshi, to Siddhanti, Vedanti. What is it? He says, you say Brahma is Jagat Karana, Brahma is Chetana. Do you agree? Siddhanti says yes. How can, and what is the world? World is made of Chetana as well as Achetana, right? Siddhanti says yes. So, how can Achetana be born out of Chetana? It cannot be. Prapancha has Achetana, Ghatapatadi cannot be born out of Chetana. So, Siddhanti gives an answer, all right, but Siddhanti also says, Swapaksha dosha cha, there is a sutra, Swapaksha dosha cha. He says in Sankhya Mata also there is a dosha. I will answer your questions, not a problem. But I will also ask you as to how is it that the Prapancha which has Chetana also, how it is born of Pradhana which is Achetana. So Chodya is same, questions are same. So what is the Parihara you will give? You will give some Parihara. Whatever Parihara works for you, that will work for me also. So what? जिनके घर शीशे के होते वो दूसरे के घर पे पत्थर नहीं मारते. So if your houses are your house is also made of glass, you don't throw stones on other houses, right? Made of glass. So this is a nyaya in tarka. If you have the same flaw, other also has the same flaw, you should not point out. He'll also do the same. It is like pointing fingers to your darshana also. So chodya parihara samyam. This is called as samana uttara or chodya parihara samyam is called as what? Pratibandhi nyaya. Arthat yadi purushatvad ayam chauraha. See, he's given an example. Purushatvad ayam choraha. What is the hetu? Ridiculous, Say what? Generally, we'll take the example literally. Purushatvad, because he is a man. If for example, let's take a case where there are two, a man and a woman, let's say. Okay, let's take some ridiculous example, a man and woman, and there's a debate going on who stole this. So some man walks by and says, no, what is the case? He says that, oh no, this fellow, the man must be the thief. Why? Because he's a man. What is the logic? Meaning what? Women don't steal. Because he's a man, he's a thief. Then the other person says, oh, you are also man, therefore you are also thief. Right? Purushatvat, if the hetu is there, you are also a thief. If I am a thief because I am man, you are also a thief because you. So अर्थात यदि पुरुषत्वाद हेतु त्वात्, again त्वात् छिरस्क, this is a त्वात् छिरस्क, पुरुषत्वाद अयम चोरा, this fellow has to be a thief because he is a man, then तदा त्वमपि चोरा, you are also a thief because what same hetu स्याः iti आपादनम. This is what Pratibandhi has. We'll see how the uttara is in the sandarbha in the next part. यस्साक्षात् सच्चिदानंदं प्रत्यगद्वयम् अक्रियं तन्नमामि यस्य योगी गम्यं परम पदम. नमस्ते, धन्यवाद.